Hello, this is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. If you're new to my channel, I do all things Liberian, all things Liberia, because I'm a Liberian girl. But I decided to review Young, Famous, and African. One, because I love reality TV. That is my vice. Not all, but some. Number two, I like a show that portrays a side of Africa that is hardly seen around the world. Now, whether you agree or disagree about the content of the show, I'm just glad that we are showcasing Africa on a larger scale like Netflix. So I'm going to be reviewing this show. I like it. I like the characters. I like the reality stars. And I know that this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but if it is, keep watching. I will continue. I've committed to do reviews till the end of the season. This is Young, Famous, and African. This is season 3, episode 1. So here goes. This is from a Liberian, West African perspective. So I have so much to say, I had to take notes. But the underlying theme for me for this episode is that Annie is the problem. Annie is the problem. I'm not sure if she is aware. She probably isn't, because most of the times when we are the problem, we don't know until people check us. But she is the underlying dark force in this episode, which is unfortunate because when this show started, Annie was one of my favorites. Nadia was one of my favorites. But Annie has slowly kind of tumbled down to a place where she is the underlying problem. So let's begin. So the episode opens with everyone being invited to Zari's wedding, which I think it's not just because Zari likes everyone. I think the show probably contributed to a big chunk of this wedding to make it successful, to make it look good. So you would be a fool not to have them televise or film at your wedding, because it's probably costs that you can cut down on. Maybe she doesn't need to cut down on costs, but it's smart. It makes you the main attraction for the first episode. Your wedding is the whole episode. So why not? Especially if you're already a reality star and you've already told people to be on their best behavior, why not? So I think it's a smart move on Zari's part. So people start arriving to the wedding, and then there's a scene of Zari saying, she says, I'm Gary married. And I love how the R's, I think she's Ugandan. I love the R's. I'm Gary married. I said, you go, girl, you better get married. So Annie, they show Annie, and I had a friend who were no longer friends. We used to say when someone exhibited some form of doing drugs, I'm not saying Annie's on drugs, but this is what me and my friend used to say. I'm not saying you on crack, but you acting very crackish. The movements, Annie's movements, the way she articulates the things that she says, just her body language screams someone that's under the influence of somebody. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just saying that what I said. I'm not saying you on crack, but you acting very crackish. So she says she doesn't know why Zari invited her to the wedding. Is Zari going to pull something out on her? Like, why would Zari invite you to her wedding in order to sabotage her own day, to pull something on you? Like your level of importance in your mind is too high. So everyone's invited to the wedding. Even Fantana, who, is messing with Diamond off and on, that Zari had some internet beef with, is also invited to the wedding. So Zari made sure everybody coming, because then we can film at my wedding, and my wedding will be the main focus of this episode. Smart move. So Fantana comes to the wedding. She said, "Oh, it looks nice." She said, "It looks nice, like a barbecue." Shade. You're calling this lady's garden wedding outside a barbecue. You're throwing shade. It did not look like a barbecue. It looked like a white wedding outside. Fantana, as you may or may not know, Fantana and Diamond, which is Zari's ex, have been off and on with some kind of situationship. So she was definitely throwing shade. She said she was surprised that she was invited. Then we see Swanky come in, and Swanky, if I had it, I would pay for Swanky to dress me from head to toe. That man is stylish, and he pulls it off without looking like he's trying too hard, which if anyone dressed like Swanky, it would just be too much. He just commands presence, and I like him. So Swanky walks in, and Annie comes. Annie's energy is so down. Annie energy is like a black cloud. She walks in, and you can tell that people, they're like, hey, and everyone's speaking, but there's a little fear because they don't know what Annie's gonna do. And it's kind of sad because, like I said, Annie used to be one of my favorite people. She sits by Nadia, but says she has a beef in her mind, because most of the time Annie is the only one beefing. She's beefing by herself. She has an issue with Nadia that she will address later. Naked DJ and Kaylee come. If you've watched some of my reviews, you know that he is not one of my favorite people. But surprisingly, throughout this episode, he was the voice of reason. So I give him a couple of points for that. I'm going to take away some points for the blazers and the net see-through shirts throughout this episode in different colors. I don't know if he has a revolving closet of these outfits. I'm going to take away some points for that. We're going to need you to wear a cotton tee or a button-down shirt just once in your life. Kaylee is there. She looks really nice. She's very unproblematic. And I do wonder why she is on the show, maybe because she's with him and he's such a major part of the show, but she does not bring a lot to the show. But maybe we need one person who can float between these groups that are having so many problems. She's very unproblematic, very nice, very peaceful, and she's pretty. So maybe that's why she's nice to look at. So Naked DJ and his see-through comes through with his girlfriend or semi-fiance Kaylee. So before the wedding, which this was kind of weird, maybe it was forced by production, Shakib and Naked DJ had a talk. Shakib says that sometimes he's uncomfortable with the relationship with Zari and Diamond. They're too touchy-feely. Naked DJ assures him that he is the one for Zari, and Zari is the one for him. So he just kind of reassures him. He doesn't stir up drama. You know, he could have said, I've noticed that too. Do you think they're still in love? But, you know, he doesn't do that. He reassures Shakib, and there's a smile that Shakib does when he's reassuring him that was really sweet. And it kind of highlighted to me how young I don't know, Shakib could be like the mastermind behind this whole relationship, the dominant one. But that smile was so sweet when he was being reassured. I said, hey man, that's just one little boy. This is a baby. I don't know how old Zari is, but I think Shakib is like 27. So he's the younger one in this relationship. So I hope it works out. They seem very much in love. So Annie is kind of gossiping about how young Shakib is, how he's old enough to be Zari's son. She can't tell them apart, and she's hoping the relationship is for the right reasons. I'm like, honey, the call is coming from inside the house. Before you even give anyone advice, you should figure out what you and your husband are doing. There have been so many scandals with your husband, with outside cheering. I think Annie and Two-Face Baba, Innocent, have 2 children, but I think there's been several fathered that he takes care of, that he's had since they've been married. So, baby, you can't give anyone any advice. And I think Annie is embarrassed of her situation, and I think she is sad. There's a new scandal every couple of years, and I think she's projecting. Nobody would take advice from Annie, and nobody asked Annie for advice, unfortunately. So Zari makes her entrance. So the groom makes his entrance. And there is a scene where the officiator is someone that Louis is messing with that looks like they could be Louis's older auntie. So everyone in the group is kind of like snickering, especially Nadia. And Nadia's like, that's Zari's friend, but she even looks older than Zari. So everyone is a little confused. Louis said that's his good friend. Okay, so that's where we're gonna leave it. So Zari walks in and everyone's like, oh, she's a vision. She looks like an angel falling down from heaven. First, I have to admit, Zari's a beautiful lady. I don't think this was her best look. I've seen her look prettier just on a day-to-day basis. But as the camera got closer, she was a vision. She was beautiful. So yes, I was a little underwhelmed at first, but I started getting the look. And when Swanky gave it his stamp of approval, then I said, well, then let me look through the eyes of Swanky, the lens of Swanky. If he says it's fine, then I have to see it's fine, because he knew it more than me. Okay, so right after the wedding, before they can be seated, Annie thinks this is the best time to confront Nadia. She's like, you said you weren't my friend, you're fake. And then why would you come to my dinner if we're not friends? Well, why would you come to Zari's wedding? A dinner and a wedding. You're telling Nadia why she came to your dinner if she wasn't your friend. Why did you come to Zari's wedding if you're not her friend? What's faker than that? You say you came to the woman wedding, you threw shade through the whole wedding, and you still came. There's some noise in the background, so please disregard, honorably disregard. So they kind of get into it a little bit, but Nadia was shocked that Annie would choose this as the right time. Something is going on with Annie. So then they go to the reception. Fantana's upset that she's seated away from everyone and seated by where Diamond would be seated. Zari knew. Sorry. So Zari put Fantana by herself. Fantana was not happy. Then in walks someone named Kefele, and if I'm saying that wrong, so what? I'm West African. I don't know South African, Eastern African names. I'm doing the best I can. Bear with me, I will get it. She's a content creator, stunning bone structure, and she's +1 to Swanky, which Zari is like, why does he always bring +1s? Like that's something she said, I'm gonna have to talk to him about. But at this moment, this is when I realized Kanye is not on the show anymore. And Kanye was the elegant, stylish voice of reason. So I'm beginning to think this is Kanye's replacement. She's stunning, bone structure, fashion. She also was named GQ's fashion, the most fashionable woman on the continent. And her and Swanky met in Paris a long time ago or whatever, or maybe they don't even know each other. You know, these friendships can be manufactured on reality TV. So anyway, she comes. Louis gets up to do a speech. Nobody asked him. Miss Annie gets up to do a speech. Like I said, crackish behavior. I don't know. The speech, she didn't, she wonder why she felt a kind of weird, but she want to tell Zari, I feel so guilty and I hope the love lasts and all kind of good things. Okay, so my daughter interrupted. Hopefully that part came out good. But anyway, so Annie gives a speech. I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody was confused. Even Zari was a little apprehensive when Annie was talking. She didn't know what was going to come out of Annie's mouth. I don't even know what going on with Annie. And there was something that was said, and I don't even know if Swanky realized I know they realized they're being recorded, but he's like, I feel so sad for her. I have a feeling that Swanky is privy because maybe they're in the same circles in Nigeria. Let me try. I don't know why I keep closing my eyes. I have a feeling that Swanky is privy to Annie's lifestyle, and he knows there's a lot more going on than we know on the show, and he's not. I feel like he had his run-in with Annie last season, and he's not going to do it this season. And I think so. Annie knows that, so she came prepared to attack Nadia. Notice she's not attacking Swanky; she's attacking Nadia. And Swanky and Annie never resolved their issue. So he said something. He said, "I feel sad for her." That he knows something about Annie. Her looks. Everything. When Annie came on the first season, she was so polished, like a Nigerian woman that you would aspire to be like, and it has just gone downhill. If you get on reality TV, don't let it make you. You make it. And maybe with her family life, what's going on, it has torn her down. Diamond says Zari lied. He said he was not invited to the wedding. Then he meets up with Naked DJ. He said the way he was invited, not the way you're supposed to invite people that you got history with. So what's the truth? Did Zari lie? Did she not invite Diamond, or did Diamond lie and just is wording it a certain way? Is it that he didn't like the way he was invited? He said that Zari is now saying he has to go to court to see the kids, and there's been all these issues. He also said, interestingly, that he has never met Shakib. So let's say Zari never set it up for you to meet the man that she's marrying. That's going to be a stepfather to your 2 children. One is a girl. As a man, that is your responsibility to say, I need to meet the man that you're marrying who is going to be around my children, my 2 children. So if Zari never did it, you as a man, why haven't you done it? Then you want to sit down and say, oh, she's doing this, doing that. You have all the power in the world. You have a legal team. You wanted to meet this man who's marrying your children. You could have. So I do believe there's some jealousy. I do believe that he is upset because he used to have his cake and eat it too with Zari, and he's upset now that she has moved on. And when it's one thing for Zari to have a boyfriend, a little boy toy, but the fact that she's marrying this man, I feel like it's ruffling his feathers. And then he says, if I could have her like this. Who says that about a woman who just got married? Disrespectful, whether it's true or not. Which Diamond and Zari have a weird relationship. There is an undercurrent of tension, maybe sexual tension. So maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But the fact that he felt the need to say that, let me believe that there is jealousy on his part. Your girl has moved on. She's married. She's a married woman now. Annie and Fantana meet up, and it is like Fantana is uncomfortable. They're meeting up to, talk about each other the whole time. Annie talks about Nadia, how Nadia betrayed her, how her daughter was bullied because of Swinky. There was never a voicemail. Swinky lied. And Fantana is friends with Nadia and Swinky. And she said, in her mind, in her confessional, she said, I don't know Swinky to be a liar. So Nadia is being very uncomfortable. And she says, I hope Annie knows that I will tell them. Those are her friends. Annie is not her friend. She said, we didn't even get to talk about to get to know each other. The whole dinner was Annie's weird movements and talking about these people. So you could tell Nadia was uncomfortable. Then, she said that if Swinky would go to Lagos, people are willing to beat him up. They're going to beat him up. But the problem he caused, her daughter was bullied because of Swinky, because they were saying, why your mom did this. I'm like, your daughter should have been bullied for the problems that your husband does, all the cheating that he does. If she was ever going to be bullied, it would be for that, not because of Swinky. Stop it, Annie. If somebody asks your daughter why your mom did that to Swinky, left a voice note, that's not bullying. That's asking a question. Lies. Nobody bully your daughter because of Swinky. And she said that, innocent, her husband is 17 years old. Swinky senior. Swinky is a rat compared to her husband. I'm like, Nigerians, they are dramatic. West African people, they are dramatic. And I consider myself Nigerian because I did my ancestry DNA. My Nigerian level keeps going up and up and up. And they say I'm Yoruba. So I believe it. So what do we, then Kefele has a dinner and she invites Annie. They get to know each other. She says she likes her immediately. Then Nadia comes. Nadia and Annie get into it. So Kefele is the new Kanye. And she's just looking back and forth. She's refusing to get into it. Nadia did not back down. And I think Annie is used to everyone. Zari didn't back down. Zari somehow backed down. And I know why Zari backed down, because the other women didn't give her a chance, didn't like her. So she was against all the women. So I think she was overpowered. In this case, Nadia is the friend circle favorite. Everyone loves Nadia. So Nadia has the backing of a Swinky. She has the backing of Fantana. So she's not backing down. And so Annie gets up and leaves. And Kefele is like, well, Nadia warned me about all the group, but then she's acting like some of the people in the group. So anyway, that is the end of the episode. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what happens next, and I will continue to review. Please put in the comments what you think, and I hope you follow this journey. This is a Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe, and I will see you later.